Hi and welcome. We are here at Money 2020 in Las Vegas. What a great location. I'm Chris Principe, publisher of Financial IT, and I want to bring you the latest and greatest, some of the really good stories that are here in Money 2020. And with that, I have a special guest. Alan, welcome to Financial IT.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Great. Alan, if you could tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing and some of the exciting news.
Yeah, sure. So I'm here with NiCE Cognigy. So 6 weeks ago, we were plain old Cognigy, but we got acquired 6 weeks ago by NiCE, the world's leading contact center company. So very hot news. And yeah, we're here to take the temperature of what's going on in the US market and to see how our solutions can be applied to solve the biggest problems in providing customer service and customer experience in financial services.
Well, I tell you, it's kind of a big space, and it's a really new space, and the fact that you've had this acquisition really shows that you guys got a proven model in the space.
Yeah, that's it. That's what sets us aside. I mean, what's happened in the course of this year, and in fact for about the last 2 years since ChatGPT burst onto the market, is there are so many new entrants that have come into the market, and basically they're just a large language model that they put a wrapper around. So it's quite easy to build a customer service agent using these new technologies. What's more difficult is to make it enterprise grade. And to make it ready for the demands of financial services. So yeah, with the acquisition, that just helps us now scale this. And yeah, the reason they bought us is that many of Europe's, and in fact America's largest companies are completely dependent on us for their customer service.
So when you talk about the scalability,
yeah,
okay, give me a rough idea of how many conversations are we talking, how many?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, one of the things that the platform is really good at is scaling for unexpected events. So, in financial services, it could be some sort of weather event. Everybody calls their insurer. Or it could be something like the LA fires that happened a few weeks ago, that sort of thing. But a great example is that one of our major customers is Lufthansa, the big German airline. And the Germans have these things called works councils, which are, in fact, you were telling me earlier, you know all about the works councils. They're like the trade unions of Germany. And they can shut every airport in Germany by going on strike with only 6 hours notice. So last time they did that, they shut every airport in Germany with no notice at all. And we were rebooking 10,000 flights every minute with an automation, with no humans involved at all. So it's that sort of level where scaling up from your normal run rate of maybe a few hundred an hour, something like that, to suddenly 10,000 in 1 minute. And we think it's probably the second or third busiest automation in the world. Maybe there's a couple more in China where they're a bit more bigger population.
Well, I tell you, that actual use case, that example was really good. I mean, I fly a lot, so I understand.
Of course,
And to be able to rebook that amount of reservations, it just sounds extreme to me.
Well, that's it. You just would not be able to predict to do it with humans. So yeah, this is the big thing there. So, and that's the thing that really sets us aside. It's that enterprise readiness, and particularly in the financial services market as well, because it's so regulated. Being a German company, we've gone through the ringer with the regulators, you might imagine. There's all of the legislation as well as the compliance that you have within each of the businesses. So we're pretty confident that we can work anywhere in the world and satisfy the most demanding of compliance people.
So it was interesting what you also said at the beginning, which is that it's one thing to take AI and make people better, but you're taking AI and making AI better.
That's it, yeah, we're making it useful. So all we do and all we focus on is creating AI agents for the contact center and for the highest volume contact centers in the world. So the banks and the insurers are the perfect target market for us. And the reason that we do it, and the reason we're in business is, unfortunately, even though with all this fantastic new technology that's out there, customer service still sucks. I mean, an example is the other day, my son was visiting back from New Zealand, so I added him back onto the car insurance. I couldn't do it on the portal. I had to call. And I called, I was on hold for 20 minutes. I had to re-authenticate myself twice. It was a terrible experience, If I could have spoken to an AI automation to do that for me, and one of our customers is one of the world's largest insurers, and they're doing just that. It just makes all of the difference. So, yeah, unfortunately, customer service still sucks. The early automations didn't work. It didn't understand. It drove you crazy. And it just seemed to be there to stop your consumers, your customers, talking to your human advisors.
Well, I tell you, the example that you brought up, I think almost everybody's experienced
every day,
right? And we don't like it.
Yeah.
And I had personal experience just recently with an AI agent that really felt like I was talking to a real person.
Yeah.
And I understand that you guys have really taken that to great heights now.
Yeah, so over the last 2 or 3 years, since large language models have been available for use, about this time last year, actually, it came up with the concept of Agentic AI. Mm-hmm. So the difference between that and traditional conversational AI. So we started 8 years ago building conversational AI for inbound customer service. And if you're doing inbound customer service, you can usually predict what somebody's calling about. If you're an insurer, it's probably going to be first notification of loss. It's going to be checking up on the claim, all that sort of stuff. But with Agentic AI, you can understand absolutely everything that's being said because it's using the large language model to understand the intention of the call. We're then using the more traditional processes to then create and complete tasks. So it might be that registration of first notification of loss, reporting the damage, booking the car into the repair shop, that sort of thing. But then it's also crafting all the responses in a very human-like way. And the great thing is it's hyper-personalised. Every conversation is different. It's like having your best human advisors on every single call with the complete knowledge of the whole process. But of course, without any waiting and with unlimited scaling, because the AI doesn't need a bathroom break. It doesn't need to take sick time. So yeah, it's there 24/7.
Well, that not waiting part
Yeah.
really sounds attractive.
Well, not waiting, but also getting your task completed first time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it fits really well because we're here at Money 2020.
Yep.
Right, and there's a lot of huge institutions here.
Yep.
A lot of payments, and so I imagine that this is an area of your customers would be.
Oh,
be
very
part of
much so,
this.
yeah. No, as I said, financial services, particularly insurance, has been really big for us. So the use case with the large German insurer that we work with, they have replaced all of their inbound customer service technology with basically a conversational front end. So instead of calling and press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and working your way around the menu trees, which drives everybody potty, and most people just shout agent or press 0 repeatedly. What it does, it says, hi, thanks for calling insurance company. Please explain, the purpose of your call today. And it understands everything. It gets it right 98% of the time in terms of the intent. It then does the identification, the verification, and it remembers that. It then goes off in the back end and it gets all of the information needed to resolve the intent. But being German, it then has to be handed over to a regulated human who can then process the claim. But it does the warm handover. So it goes, hey Joe, this is Fred, he's calling about the car wreck he had. He wanted to know whether or not he's entitled to a rental. He is. Your next step is to ask him if he wants it delivered to the house or to the thing. And then it changes roles and gets into co-pilot mode and provides next best responses. And at the end of the call, it wraps up the conversation. So it saves probably a third of every conversation and just gives that great customer service experience that's better for not only the consumer, but the human advisor. So the human advisor isn't having irate people that have been on hold for 20 minutes. They're just there warm and happy to have their issue resolved.
Well, I tell you, from what I hear, from what you're saying, it saves a third, right?
Yep.
But it probably eliminates 100% of the hassle that we have.
The hassle factor, yeah. You actually feel that you've achieved something without, wasting your time.
Well, speaking about time, we're here at Money 2020,
Yep.
right? This is a great event for you guys. Is this one of the
It's one of the key events for us,
Yeah.
yes. So, as I said, it's the best way of finding out what's going on in the market and taking the temperature. Being able to see what's new in terms of some of the other tech providers, getting the messaging and getting just the whole feel of what's going on.
So those kind of conversations lead me on to what I really want to hear about, which is going forward.
Yeah.
What do you see as the future, not only for your business, but really for the industry? I mean, it's changed so much in such a short time that use your crystal ball and give us something.
Well, I think we can actually go back to the good old days of financial services where, you knew your bank manager and your bank manager knew you. So you'll end up with hyper-personalized relationships between financial institutions and hundreds, if not hundreds of millions of their customers. And it doesn't just have to be on the inbound customer side, it can be on the outbound as well. One of our customers in Europe is Santander, the bank, and they're now doing outbound calling, which you couldn't do with an automation before because you had no idea what the person was going to say. It's a really simple use case. So they're selling loans and they have regulated financial advisors making outbound calls. Only 15% of the people pick up. So these people are dialing, they're wasting time. They're frustrated because they're highly paid, highly motivated, highly qualified financial advisors, and they're just not having the conversations they want. So we built them a simple outbound, and it calls hyper-personalized, says, hey Jessica, you made an application for a loan. We have one of our advisors standing by, it'll be a 10-minute conversation, is now a good time. And the person says no, they then says, okay, when is one? Books the diary appointment, makes the outbound call. If it's still not a good time, it keeps going, but in a non-intrusive, very proactive way. And when the customer finally speaks to the advisor, they found that 85% of them now will complete the loan. So they've gone from a 15% pickup rate to everybody pretty much talking to the advisors, being warm and friendly and ready to go ahead with the loan and completing on 85% of them. So massive impact on the business.
Well, I tell you, that's the kind of future that I want to hear about.
Yeah.
And really, it's it's pretty amazing what's been able to happen in such a short
Oh yeah,
period
no,
of time.
it's tremendous. It's the pace of change has been enormous, and you see so many of these new companies that just popped up. As I said at the beginning, they're just using large languages. They've wrapped them up and said, "Hey, here's an AI agent."
So, what's going to happen in the future that you'd mentioned?
Yeah, well, I think the sales and marketing is going to extend even further. So, for the TikTok generation or the Instagram generation, they could be watching a reel that's been sponsored by a financial institution, and they could think, "Oh, I want to know more about that." Just tap on it, and it starts an Instagram messaging conversation directly with an AI. So the AI knows exactly which reel is being watched. It knows a little bit about the person because it's having a conversation with them, and it can provide advice and take it to the next step. But that's then the beginning of the relationship that persists forever, unless the consumer decides to break it. So it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on Instagram. So no longer do you have to have an app on your phone from your financial institution to have the conversation and get the information you need. So that's going to be transformative. And then I think it's also going to change the whole way we access the internet. Your web browser will become a conversational interface. You'll ask it a question and the whole screen will change and just be personalized to what you're discussing at the time. It'll show you the financial products that you're talking about in real time. So yeah, it's just going to be a wonderful experience.
Well, I'll tell you, I know my grandkids, are digital natives,
Yep,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
TikTok is a wonderful thing for them.
Yep.
And I think they would really love some of this and value some of what's coming.
That's it. And for the rest of us, the voice channel has resurged.
Yeah.
I worked in a messaging company before I joined Cognigy, and we were basically saying voice is dead. Everybody wants to go digital, but so many people just want to pick up the phone and make a call. And if they can get the answers they need in a very human-like way from an automation, everybody's happy.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of being happy, we're really happy, Alan, that you came and spent some time with us
great
at
to be
Financial IT. Really interesting, really great things that we're expecting from you guys in the future. And I'm really happy in general because it just sounds like it's going to make my life a lot easier.
It is, yes. It's going to be happy interactions for every conversation. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, great, Alan. Thank you for joining us in Financial IT.
Cheers.
Great. Thanks.